What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to say if you're a fan of those legends of the game, I would recommend subscribing to the channel because that's all I focus on. Also, guys, if this is content that you enjoy, I'd greatly appreciate if you'd posterize that like button. And with that being said, guys, let's get into today's video. So, guys, as most of you that may have been watching my videos, over since I've started essentially, um, you probably know that I'm a big Phoenix Suns fan, and I have been since for a long, long time, since the early '90s. Because I was always a fan of Charles Barkley, and when Barkley ended up getting traded to Phoenix, um, naturally I followed him to Phoenix, and I don't know, guys. I mean, Kevin Johnson, he was someone that I'd seen earlier on. And then, you also have guys like Dan Marley, and I always thought Richard Dumas I thought he was going to be the next big thing, right? I really thought he was going to be good. Unfortunately, things happened and it never panned out. Of course, you had Cedric Sabalos. So, I mean, there was just a lot of players on that team that I ended up liking and I ended up following. And a lot of those guys, aside from Charles Barkley, were never really superstars, right? I mean, Kevin Johnson, I believe he was going to be he could have possibly been a superstar. I think he was a star. I mean, he was an all star, of course, but I don't think he quite made it to a superstar. But he was really, really good, guys. I mean, for a couple of seasons there, he was putting up 20 points per game, 10 assists per game. And then I think it was Oliver Miller. And for those of you who don't know who Oliver Miller is, he's a player that struggled with his weight for the longest time. Was a player that I think he could have been good. I mean, it's just unfortunately he had weight problems and he just never he never lived up to his potential essentially. But anyway, the Kevin Johnson was essentially trying to help him up, and he got a hernia, and then from that point on, Kevin Johnson just became injury prone. It seemed like every season he had nagging injuries and things like that. And it's just by the time that he was healthy again, the Phoenix Suns was on a downward turn, and Barkley would be gone, and it's just the Suns. I think they brought in Kidd toward the end, and that's the way that they were going. So KJ was just kind of pushed out, but it's just really unfortunate, guys, because if Kevin Johnson, if he doesn't end up being injury prone, how good would he have been, right? I mean, it's just it's one of those things that I wonder about. But he was really, really good, for several seasons, and for a couple of seasons he was a rising star. So yeah, we'll get right into today's build, guys. So for a Kevin Johnson build, guys, look, there's really only one way to go, I feel, and that's the Hall of Fame finishing and Hall of Fame playmaking. I mean, we're talking about a 6'1" point guard that dunks on Hakeem Olajuwon, arguably the greatest defensive big man to ever play the game, and a 6'1" point guard dunks on him. So you want that finishing. And as I said, he was also really good at facilitating. I mean, we're talking about a guy that I think at the time him, Magic, and Isaiah were the only guards that were putting up 20 points per game and 12 assists per game for a season. And that may still stand to today. I'm not sure. I didn't actually look into it. I just know that that was a crazy thing that I remember. I heard some years back, and I was just like, man, that's crazy. That KJ is in that kind of company, right? Because Isaiah and Magic, both top five point guards. So if KJ doesn't get injured, how good would he have been, right? So yeah, it's just one of those things, guys. And I'm not saying KJ had serious injuries. I'm just saying that he was always injured essentially. So for this build, guys, though, you do want to go speed and vert. I feel like because you want that ability to get up, right? You want to be able to dunk with this build. And I mean, this is a really good all around build, guys. I will tell you that. So you're going to basically, for finishing, you're going to max out your close shot, your driving layup, and your driving dunk. And then you're going to max out your mid range, your 3-point shot, and your free throw. And that's just to get those 9. See, because if you don't max out your free throw, you don't get 9. That's just to get you those 9 shooting badges. And then here we're going to max out our pass accuracy and our ball handling. And that's going to get us 22. Now, if you wanted to take this down a tick to get, just to get that extra attribute, you can. But, it's just one attribute point. It really doesn't help you out in the thick of things. So then we're going to max out our perimeter defense, our lateral quickness, and our steal. And then we're going to go down. We're going to put the rest on our defense and our offensive rebounding. And if we look at this, guys, you've got a really, really good badge layout, right? You've got 19 finishing, 9 shooting, 22 playmaking, and 7 defensive and rebounding badges. So you've got a pretty good layout. It doesn't really matter, what, in terms of your build, it doesn't matter. But you do want to go 6'1". Want to pull this down to 180. And if you look at this, guys, so look at this once we get this maxed out, because with this we're just going to take it up 1 tick, to where it doesn't affect our shooting or anything, because we're going to want our shooting. We want our ball handling to be real good, because KJ was a pretty good ball handler, right? So if we look at where we're at, guys, so you're going to have a close shot once you get this maxed out of 92 with the incredible 99 driving layup, a very, very solid 85 driving dunk. So that's definitely, you're going to be able to finish around the basket. But guys, here's where this, I feel like, sets this apart, right? You're going to have a very, very good mid-range shot of 79. In 2K22, a 79 mid-range shot is lethal. You're going to be able to knock that down. And you're going to have a reliable 71 3-point shot. So, you're not going to be the greatest 3-point shooter, but you're going to be able to knock that down pretty regularly. And you're going to be solid at the free throw line, of course, at 86. But if you look, guys, you're going to have a 90 pass accuracy with an incredible 98 ball handling. So you're going to be able to really facilitate. And this is a really fun build to play with. And you're going to have a dependable 80 perimeter defense. It's not going to be great. You have 78 lateral quickness and a respectable 85 steal, which I feel like in 2K, guys, an 85 steal is pretty decent. You'll be able to get some steals with that. So for your takeover, guys, look, there's a couple of different ways that you could do this. I mean, if you wanted to do shot creator with this, you could definitely do that. You can do playmaker. It's just, guys, anytime that slasher's on the board, unless I'm doing a lockdown build, 90% of the time I'm taking slasher, and that's just because it feels like, I know in 21 it was, and it definitely feels that way in 22 as well. It just feels like it's such an overpowered takeover. You have to have it. And you have built a slashing playmaker with shades of Ja Morant. God, man, guys, what about... Did you see that Grizzlies win over the Lakers, man, without Ja? That's crazy. The Grizzlies, I mean, they're looking like a good team. They really are. They're looking solid. And then you got Damien Lillard. I don't know what's up with Dame this year. I really don't. Is he just wanting out of Portland? Is he wanting another star? Because I know CJ just isn't. He's not enough, to get Portland, anywhere with Dame. So I don't know what's going on with Dame this year, but his production's definitely fallen off. And then you got Tim Hardaway, which is another one of my favorite point guards of all time. But we'll go ahead and we'll go in and test this and get our badges, and we'll get you guys out of here. We're just going to max this out. And then, of course, we're going to go acrobat because you are smaller. We're going to go fearless. We're going to go posterizer, of course. Then you're going to do limitless takeoff is a good one with this. And then unstrippable, slithery, because both of those I feel like, are really, really good on this build. And then giant slayer on bronze. So you got acrobat, fearless finisher, posterizer, and limitless takeoff on Hall of Fame. Giant Slayer, Slithery Finisher, and Unstrippable on bronze. So that's a really, really good layout for your badges. Here you're going to go Hot Zone Hunter, Limitless Spot Up just to help that 3-point shot. And then for the last one, guys, it really depends on you, right? I feel like you're playing a point guard, so I feel like Stop and Pop's a must. And this is the way that I did it, right? I did Stop and Pop, Mismatch Expert, and Deadeye on bronze, and that's just that because having more badges, it feels like in 2K22, it's more beneficial than having gold badges. It just feels that way to me, maybe. But here, guys, we're gonna go unpluckable. We're gonna go tight handles. We're gonna go quick first step. We're gonna go bullet passer. If you want to do dimer or floor general, you could. It really depends on you. I like needle threader. I don't know why. I just seem to like needle threader. It really, really works for me. It may not be something that works for you, but for me, it really seems to work. I like how I want to have Space Creator on here at least a little bit. But I feel like because this is such a quick build already, it's not something that's necessarily needed. And we'll do quick chain. And then for our 7 defensive and rebounding badges, we'll do clamps. We'll do intimidator. And then we'll do interceptor. Unless you want to do pickpocket, which you could do that as well. But there you have it, guys. I feel like this is a really good KJ build. It's a fun point guard build to play with. It does a little bit of everything pretty good, but it really excels at playmaking and finishing. And if that's your style of play, this is definitely the build for you. But if you enjoyed today's video, guys, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd posterize that like button. If you enjoy those legends of the game, I would recommend subscribing to the channel. And with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are. Have a good one.